Hey there, welcome back to the Chill Mom Boss Show. Today we are diving into one of the most powerful tools you can have in your business toolbox, your brand story. And I'm going to show you why having a compelling brand story can be the difference between struggling to sell and having people lining up to buy from you and your business. My name is Michelle Hon, and I help entrepreneurs start and grow their businesses from home. So, I was recently in Kuala Lumpur with my family, just having dinner at this cozy little restaurant. And something amazing happened. So we were just sitting there, right, minding our own business, when suddenly I saw the restaurant owner just walks over to a table nearby, just holding out a live fish. And yes, you heard that right. Fully arrived, and the thing was still wriggling. Now, it wasn't just any fish. She starts telling the diners that this fish was caught in a freshwater river in Perak. It was a rare breed, and not just rare, but it was huge, and it was like 4 kilos huge, right? And she explains that it would take years for the fish to get to this size, and there was only 8 of these beauties arrived at the restaurant today, and there was only 5 fishes left. And the table was memorized, and I see people started whipping out their phones, taking photos, like recording the whole thing. We from the other table were looking as well, like what's going on, right? And the fish even slipped out of her hand at one point, but don't worry, it did landed safely back into a basket next to her. And you know what? 3 minutes later, the fish was sold. And guess what? This fish was sold for over 1,000 ringgit. Without that story, it's just a fish, an expensive one at that. But with that story, it becomes an experience. It's a rare opportunity, right? And people want to brag about it on social media. Now, why am I telling you this? Because this is the power of storytelling. The story behind that fish justified the price and made people excited to buy it. And here's where it gets even better. About maybe less than 10 minutes later, the restaurant owner does the exact same presentation at another table. Now the other table sees this other table, and now they want it. And I'm willing to bet that she sold that fish too. So as an entrepreneur, if you're not using storytelling to sell your products or services now, you are leaving money on the table. Because people don't just want to buy products. They want stories, the why, the journey, the uniqueness, and that's what creates that emotional connection and desire. You win people over because now they feel like they know you, that they are a part of your world. And even if they don't come from the same background or share similar experiences as you, moving forward from here, whatever you want people to buy into, they can understand your why from your perspective. Now, let's take a look at this recent US vice presidential debate.
Would you support or oppose a preemptive strike by Israel on Iran? You have 2 minutes.
So, Margaret, I want to answer the question. First of all, thanks, Governor. Thanks to CBS for hosting the debate. And thanks, most importantly, to the American people who are watching this evening and caring enough about this country to pay attention to this vice presidential debate. I want to answer the question, but I want to actually give an introduction to myself a little bit because I recognize a lot of Americans don't know who either one of us are. I was raised in a working class family. My mother required food assistance for periods of her life. My grandmother required Social Security help to raise me, and she raised me in part because my own mother struggled with addiction for a big chunk of my early life. I went to college on the GI Bill after I enlisted in the Marine Corps and served in Iraq. And so I stand here asking to be your vice president with extraordinary gratitude for this country, for the American dream that made it possible for me to live my dreams. And most importantly, I know that a lot of you are worried about the chaos in the world and the feeling that the American dream is unattainable. I want to try to convince you tonight over the next 90 minutes that if we get better leadership in the White House, if we get Donald Trump back in the White House, the American dream is going to be attainable once again. Now, to answer this particular question, we have to remember that as much as Governor Walz just accused Donald Trump of being an agent of chaos, Donald Trump actually delivered stability in the world, and he did it by establishing effective deterrence. People were afraid of stepping out of line. Iran, which launched this attack, has received over $100 billion in unfrozen assets thanks to the Kamala Harris administration. What do they use that money for? They use it to buy weapons that they're now launching against our allies and, God forbid, potentially launching against the United States as well. Donald Trump recognized that for people to fear the United States, you needed peace through strength. They needed to recognize that if they got out of line, the United States global leadership would put stability and peace back in the world. Now, you asked about a preemptive strike, Margaret, and I want to answer the question. Look, it is up to Israel what they think they need to do to keep their country safe, and we should support our allies wherever they are when they're fighting the bad guys. I think that's the right approach to take with the Israel question.
What did you notice? J.D. Vance, when he was asked a question, and that's the very first question, by the way, what did he do? He didn't just jump straight to the answer. He told his story first. He shared his origins, his struggles, his values. Why? Because once people connect with your story, they're far more likely to trust you and to resonate with your message and to buy into whatever it is you're selling. And really, regardless of which political party that you're supporting, I mean, you gotta admit it, right? He told his story with finesse. Here's the thing. Your customers aren't just buying what you sell. They're buying your story, your journey, your passion, your why. And that's what makes your brand unforgettable and desirable. So, are you ready to turn your brand into a story that people can't resist? And that's exactly what I help entrepreneurs do. I help successful entrepreneurs tell a compelling story. I help them craft a story that sells, that make them stand apart from their competition and to attract media opportunities. If you want your business to stand out and connect with your target customers on a deeper level, I can help you do just that. If that's what you're interested in, please drop a comment, maybe reach out to me or write to me at support@mumboss.academy, and let's write that story that will take your business to the next level. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Chill Mum Boss Show. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. See you next time.